back to this welcoming session. So then I trust you have a very good conference before this session. We already have running a conference for half day anyway in the morning session. Now this is the welcoming. So it's a formal one, but a short one. So we're going to have a 15 minutes opening or welcoming session. Now before that, I just want to say a few words about CITE and CITES, because some of you, we see a lot of old friends here. I can recognize all the faces, but some of them are new friends to CITE. Now, CITE is the Center for Information Technology and Education, was established in 1998 to provide international leadership and support, to have that kind of support to promote the use of ICT in education for quality education. So then the CITES is, as you can see the acronym, CITES is the C-I-T-E, put R at the end. So R is a research symposium. So then CITES is the CITE Research Symposium. CITES is designed to foster a kind of academic exchange among students, because we have some discussion with Carol. We have research students here, but among students, teachers, professional practitioners, and academics. So this is the aim of the CITES. So STEM CITE is a research center under the Faculty of Education. The faculty is always supportive to the center, in particular the dean. Today we're very happy to have the dean of the Faculty of Education, Professor Steve Andrews, to say a few words in this welcoming session. Professor Andrews, please.
Okay, Adam. Well, thank you. I did take note of the adjective short that you used to this opening ceremony, so I'll try to bear that in mind. But anyway, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's my very great pleasure on behalf of the faculty to welcome you all here to CITERS 2015. The theme of this year's CITERS focuses on learning, interrogating the relationship between the notions of digital generations and the so-called learning society. Now that phrase and the underlying concept of a learning society, they've been with us for some years. And during that time, the notion has been hotly debated, with some claiming that it's been subverted and hijacked by corporations and governments who use the phrase to serve their own agenda. But nevertheless, I'm sure that all of us in this room would accept the underlying notion that education is key to any nation's economic and social development, and that education extends far beyond formal learning contexts, taking place in virtual as well as physical spaces as a lifelong process. If so, then the role of technologies and technological developments is clearly of crucial importance. And those developments occur so rapidly and dramatically that it's no longer sufficient to distinguish between wrinklies like me, i.e. the pre-digital generation on the one hand, and those born post-1990, variously labelled as the millennium generation, the I generation, and digital natives. Such is the pace of technological advance that there are already digital generations among those digital natives, with the current digital generation being more closely connected to each other, to information and to the cyber world than ever before. But does this increased interconnectedness actually lead to better learning? How can we as educators support the realization of our aspirations towards creating the ideal of a learning society? And in the process, how can we nurture the positive development of the digital generations within our increasingly complex societies and faced with all the opportunities and challenges presented by the cyber world? Well, such questions and many others will be explored during these 2 days of CITERS 2015. Within the broad theme of the symposium, there are 4 sub-themes: cyber worldness and cyber worldliness, designing and assessing learning, the future of open learning, and emerging pedagogies and technologies. I was very interested to note the first of those sub-themes, cyber worldness and cyber worldliness, Indeed, I was wondering whether there could be a sub-theme entitled Cyber World Weariness, focusing on strategies for combating the malaise experienced by those who suffer from information overload. Speaking as a representative of those of us who spend our lives trying to deal with far more emails than are healthy for us, sent by correspondents who are in many cases completely unknown to us and who in virtually every case expect an almost instant response to their message, I would personally welcome research on ways of overcoming cyber world weariness and keeping deans healthy, safe and productively engaged. But I know that you've already had a full morning of invited talks and parallel sessions. I hope you found those stimulating and thought-provoking. In conclusion, I'd just like to take this opportunity on your behalf to thank all of those who've worked so hard to make this event possible. The organising committee co-chairs, the programme committee chair, the members of those two committees, and everyone who's pitched in to help with organisation, with sponsorship, and with all the practical tasks that go on behind the scenes to ensure the success of an event such as this. I very much hope that all of you participating in CITERS 2015 will have a very, very fruitful and enjoyable 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Andrews. I have introduced Professor Andrews, but I didn't introduce myself. I'm Alan Yuan. I'm the director of the CITE. So then, welcome again. So then I would like to introduce another guest of honor, Professor Ricky Kwok. He is the Associate Vice President, Teaching and Learning of the university. So then, Professor Kwok, please.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you all for giving me a couple of minutes to say something. Actually, I guess I'm here to speak on behalf of my boss, the Vice President and Vice Chancellor of Teaching and Learning, Professor Ian Holliday. Unfortunately, he is traveling and he cannot speak to you directly in this qualification. So, I think focusing on various research questions on learning behaviors and their impacts of digital generation, this year's theme of the CITERS. This conference to me is truly exciting. I look forward to learn from all of you who will come over to share your research results and insights. Indeed, we have recently witnessed many unprecedented phenomena in education worldwide, truly unprecedented. And a week ago, I also spoke at another conference. I mentioned a few things, but I don't want to repeat them here because the list is very long. I can choose many possible items to say in this kind of conferences these days. So I'd like to copy Professor Andrews that I'd like to focus on one of the 4 themes that CITERS this year focus on, the open learning provisions, because of my personal bias and because I'm now heavily involved in those kind of activities. I don't know where are we heading into really, but it's very exciting. So those are things like MOOCs, SPOCs, provided by aggregators such as edX, Coursera, FutureLearn, Khan Academy, you name it. So these kind of things are now happening very, very vigorously worldwide. For example, the mainland Chinese government recently just released an MOE about an ambitious plan of rolling out 1,000 vigorously vetted MOOCs for the whole country by 2017. And by 2019, it will be ramped up to 3,000. So I don't know why they are doing this, but obviously they think this is important. So the thing is enabled by advancement of technology such as wireless bandwidth and computational power. Learners can now access university level materials, or for that matter, any educational courses, and get certificates of completion for them. So this is to me unprecedented in a way. Research actually has shown that a significant portion of certificate earners in things like MOOCs are young people by the age of around 20. Of course, this phenomenon has drawn great attention and participation from higher education institutions like this one. But the thing that's more relevant, I suppose, to CITERS is that this wave of change has recently now propagated to K-12 education as well. So even high schools or primary schools are considering using some kind of materials online and so on, and building their platform to draw on the data and that kind of activities. And again, to me, the fundamental objective is not very clear. But I guess everyone just thinks that we cannot afford to stay behind. So now, for instance, young students can now take pretty good STEM courses from open learning providers and get certified. For example, someone can enroll in an edX course or Coursera course. Coursera has a very famous calculus course. Even if you are 6-year-old, you can try it. You might even pass it. You can get a certificate. So what does that mean? To me, there are many, many intriguing questions. So I just want to throw a few of those from my mind to you. So the first question is, what kind of impact there would be in terms of the curriculum in conventional K-12 education? So imagine your students actually, when they go home or when they are running on MTR, they are taking tests from Coursera course, and they are earning certificate for that. Should we treat those credentials seriously? That's the next question. In any kind of admission process. And furthermore, should we treat those open learning opportunities as what we call another form of shadow education, if you like? So these are, to me, very, very interesting questions. And I'm sure, after I look at the program, many of you guys here have quite good answers already to some of those. So with that, let me close here by expressing my gratitude to Professor Andrews, the Dean of Education, Alan, the Director of CITE, Jin Yan, and the team for making this conference reality, so that keynote speakers and other researchers can come over and share their insights and thoughts here in these 2 days. Of course, I have to thank all the researchers and keynote speakers, of course, for taking the time to come to Hong Kong in this time of the year, not very pleasant weather. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Cox. Our two guests of honor have already unpacked two sub-themes of our research symposium. But I'm not sure. I would like to draw your attention to the theme of the research symposium. Do you know that the theme, what is a theme? It's over here, right? Is it a question? What do you think about the theme? It is not a question, but rather you can see that the question mark is in the middle, right? Now, what do you think about this theme? Now, I would like to, on one hand, I will draw attention to this theme, and then I would like to invite all of you to tomorrow's closing session. Tomorrow's closing session, Professor Nancy Law and our speakers will discuss with us. So that's why join the group and then let us discuss about the theme. Okay? Perhaps you could find some answer within these 2 days. Now, I would like to reiterate something. It is very, very important. That is to say a lot of thank you, because Professor Andrews and Professor Cox already said a lot. But I think I would like to reiterate that. I'm grateful this year because the CITES is organizing collaboration with the CASE. CASE is the Center for Advancement in Inclusive and Special Education, Center for Enhancement of Teaching and Learning, the libraries of the Hong Kong U Space, and also the Education Bureau. So these are all the things that are important. My thanks to all the organizers and sponsors for their support. I would like to also express my sincere thanks to all keynote speakers, invited speakers, presenters, and members of the organizing committee, program committee, and particular administrative as well as technical staff of CITE. Without their effort and contribution, the symposium would not have been conceivable. Finally, I offer my warmest welcome to you all. Thank you again for coming, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.